the Yahushua Estate Project. The video for the longer presentation will be linked in here or will be in the description. What if you had the chance to help Noah build the ark? What if you could stand beside Moses and Aaron as they led our people out of Egypt? Would you say yes? Would you act? Well, this mission is just like that. The Yahushua Estate is being built here in Ghana as a refuge, a safe place for the awakening remnant around the world. This is more than land. It's obedience, it's prophecy, it's preparation. So pray, share, and if Yahuwah leads you, give. Let's build this place together, and may Yahuwah bless us all.
Greetings, family. Welcome back to the African Exodus show. My name is Sister Tyranny, here to you with a new video. Very quickly before we get started, if you desire to be connected outside of YouTube, please add yourself to my Telegram channel. And listen, it's becoming more and more important to have other avenues to stay connected. That's really what we're going to be talking about inside of this video. So do add yourself to my Telegram. The link is in the description. It's very easy to download. In addition, if you do feel led to support this platform, you can do so on Cashapp, PayPal. PayPal link is in the description, and also through my Patreon, where I also post any materials that I use inside of the presentations that I do. So I want to talk today about what's going on inside of Yasharel, because a lot is going on inside of the world around us. And I want to just say a few things that the Most High would say put on my heart, some recent revelations that I've had. And I think the importance of this moment that we are in. So most of you are currently seeing unfold what is, I believe personally, to be the beginning of World War III. Now, do I 100% know that? Of course not, because things could always die down. Things could always go a different way. Anything can happen. But given the things that have been leading up to this moment, given the players that are right now going at each other, and given the prospects, I believe that this very well could be a moment for us where we're seeing the beginning of World War III unfold. However, I think that the thing that we tend to do can't be what we do going forward as the children of Yasharel. And I'm talking not just to the bloodline, I'm also talking to those being grafted into Yasharel. That is, we get so wrapped into the end times, into the wars, the rumors of wars. We get so wrapped into the fights. We get so wrapped into the diseases and the outbreaks. And we get so wrapped into the conspiracies that we are joining our minds to the same system that wants to tell us what to think and what not to think, wants to control our motivations, wants to lead us this way or that way. Okay? So just so you know, I did do a video where I broke down this period that we're in, I would say. And I do want you to know that it's there, because I'm not going to talk about the news. I'm not going to talk about what's happening inside of detail inside of this video. So if you want to see, I did do a video about the Zionist-led world order that I'm going to put here. And so you understand that Zionist Israel will be the end time one world order. Okay? I take that very serious, obviously, so I'm not making light of that. However, the question is, what should we, the children of Yasharel, the children of Yahuwah, what should we be doing in response to the world powers conspiring together and bringing about this end time fulfillment? I don't think what many of us are doing is what we should be doing. What I see many of our brothers and sisters doing, particularly those who create content doing, is focusing on the news, focusing on what Trump did today, what he didn't do today, urging people, saying, hey, this is it. We got to get ready, get ready, get ready. But spending very little time talking about what is going to happen after. That is the regathering of Yasharel. In fact, I had a recent vision when I was praying to Yahuwah, and literally the vision was not focused on the wars, it's not focused on a catastrophe, it was really focused on the regathering, focused on the children of Yasharel being brought back to the land and undergoing the period that we know as being the millennial reign, where Yahushua will return to regather his chosen, and he will rule over them in this current earth for 1,000 years, okay? But what we could do that's dangerous is that we could be so focused on being ready for the end as far as the catastrophe, but we're not at all ready for the end, that is to be regathered. Have we prepared our heart for the Messiah, knowing that Yahusha is very real, that he's very much in existence? Right now, he's seated at the right hand of Yahuwah's, right at the right hand of him. He's literally there right now, interceding for us. Have we prepared our hearts for him? Have we prepared our minds for him? Have we gotten ourselves out of the system to where we can live that separate lifestyle that he's calling us to, that set apart lifestyle? Have we been indoctrinated into the system to where we are so afraid of what's going to happen when the system collapses? Are we going to wail for Babylon? Are we going to weep for Babylon? Or are we going to be strong and know that Babylon was always an illusion? It was always this idea that man can do things separate and apart from Yahuwah, but it was never true. It was never factual. It was always built on this fake idea that man could live on their own, man could control his own destiny, men could be like gods. So when that system collapses and the ones who we've been told that we could depend on are no longer there, are we prepared for that? And let me tell you, I'm undergoing preparation right now for myself. And so I'm not saying this as someone like, hey, get like me necessarily. I'm saying let's get like Yahuwah. Let's get like Yahusha. Let's get like them and understand the reality of the things that's happening around us, separating ourselves from Babylon at this early stage. Do not be wrapped into the news at this time, okay? Absolutely, you should know what's going on. In fact, I want to read to you a scripture from 2 Thessalonians that I read earlier, but absolutely, you should know what's going on inside of the news. Absolutely, you should know what's going on as far as the world powers, where they are, because that has a lot to do with the urgency of the moment. We have to make sure that we're being urgent in this moment. We cannot think that we have 10 years. We cannot think that we have 20 years. We have to understand it very well could be the case that we have no time, and that our witness is going to suffer if we do not wake up and act quickly in waking up Yahuwah's chosen. This is 1 Thessalonians 4. I'm going to verse 11. Make it your ambition. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life and attend to your own business and work with your hands just as we instructed you, so that you will behave properly towards outsiders and not be in any need. Now, this not be in any need part, I think, is where we're getting thrown off. Many of us are of the belief that we need the powers that be to be safe. We need the powers that be to be spared from destruction, instead of minding our own business, doing our work with our hands. And think about the condition that many of us are in. Many of us are completely divorced from the reality of having to grow our own food, or having to bake our own bread, or having to provide for our family without having Walmart. Many of us have just been divorced from that reality. So think about what Paul's saying. Make sure that you're living a quiet life, meaning you're not out here, oh no, it's going down, y'all, it's happening right now, we have to do something, oh, we got to look at what's going on in the news. No, lead a quiet life, handle your own business, prepare yourself, prepare your family, work with your own hands, and also do not at all feel like you are at need of anyone other than the Most High. There's a preparation that we have to get locked into right now, because things are definitely changing. And so our message has to change. We can't keep on talking on YouTube like we think we're always going to have YouTube channels. Let me say that again, because some people have platforms and people go to their platforms habitually like, I need a fix for this week. The same way that some of us would go to church, right? And you just need the pastor to say something to get you through to the next week or get you through to the next day. Some of us have gotten this habit of thinking that our job is to create content and create content that's going to be ongoing. But everyone, let's just keep in mind that we know that the beast system is what follows after the fall of the system we live in. And in the beast system, when you cannot buy or sell without having the mark of the beast, do you believe that you're going to have a YouTube channel? Probably not. You're not going to be able to update people on what's happening with this politician or what's happening in this war. No, we're going to be locked out. We're going to be in the dark. Most of us are going to be completely in the dark. Now, if we're dealing with that circumstance, being left in the dark, like we're talking about, what use is it to have been hooked onto this idea that I need to hear from 10 different people on their thoughts on something that's happening, where all you could have learned to do during this time is to be hooked into the Ruach HaKodesh, so that you get your insight from the Most High, so that you get your wherewithal from the Most High, so that you get your understanding of what to do and how to move from the Most High. What use is it constantly having this need to go to this person or hear from this person or hear from this person, where you could have developed so much closeness with Yahuwah that you would already have everything that you need without having outsiders, have everything that you need within your home? Not saying there's anything wrong with congregating with people, obviously, congregating, assembling. But what I'm talking about is this idea that whenever it comes to these catastrophes, whether it's pandemics, whether it's wars, whatever it is, that we need these content creators to constantly be feeding us their takes, right? Instead of spending our time inside of the book, inside of prayer and in meditation, to understand our takes are all subject to human error, but Yah's authority is what we should be seeking, his authority over every single situation that we might find ourselves in. So think about this. Are we creating content for having a content on an ongoing basis? Or are we creating content understanding that we don't have a lot of time left? And this is one thing that I felt convicted on, because I would say I used to fall into that category of constantly trying to build content on current events. What I realize now is that we don't have very long. And my goal personally for anyone following this channel and receiving anything from us as we put things out there for you all is that when we are no longer able to do videos, and when we are no longer able to share messages, and when we are no longer able to connect with you all, that whatever we were assigned to do, that thing would be something that could exist without a thing in a picture, because ultimately it didn't come from us. It came from the Ruach HaKodesh, meaning it came from the spirit that all of us have, and it came from the foundation that gets set whenever you are connected to Yahuwah. So I just say this to say, things are going to get crazier, okay? And I have no doubt about that personally. Things are not going to always just go back to the same. I don't think it's going to go back to same old this time. I could be wrong, but I don't think so, right? Things are going to get crazier, and things are going to get more and more asinine. You're going to want to react on your emotions. You're going to want to jump on the computer and hear from people who are also giving you things based on emotion and not based on spiritual insights, not based on them actually hearing from the Most High, but instead based on their own fears, based on their own anxiety, pouring into you based on that. And what I just encourage you all to do is to build a self-sustaining spiritual life. Meaning, yes, by all means, we all need each other. Trust me, like I love our Shabbat Bible study group. I learn from our people. They learn from us sometimes. Like we learn from each other, right? So necessary to have fellowship. But let's just differentiate. Fellowship and dependence are two different things. And you never want to be dependent on someone else in order to get you through what you're going through. If anyone has been put in a position of leadership inside of your life, it is ultimately to the glory of who? To Yahuwah. And understand that that type of leadership has to lead you to the same understanding that all of us are equal in the kingdom. All of us have access to the same spirit. All of us have the ability to approach the same Elohim through his son. Therefore, the idea that I am the person who can only give you this message, or this is the only place you can go, that has to go. Instead, I encourage you all, as we are content creators, so to speak, I don't like that word, but as we're putting out messages out there, those of you who are, let's just try to create an environment where we understand we don't have a lot of time left. So any seeds that we're planting, let's make sure that there's seeds that will be watered if without us being around. Seeds that will continue to grow absent tyranny, right? Seeds that have everything to do with you, nothing to do with me continuing to amp you up and continuing to get you through to the next day. So I hope that that was received with love. I hope that there was understanding that this is, to me, the time that we're in where we don't have a lot of time left. Already, Yah has actually moved me as far as certain things that I want to do differently, certain things I want to make sure that I'm doing with understanding the urgency of the moment, you know. So one thing for sure, and I'll just announce it now, is that as I'm continuing to do research and things on the Holy Land, obviously I have my book, Conspiracy to Erase a Nation, that's available on Amazon. But one thing I always had fear about is that if you were to just say, oh, it's free, right, that people won't go to Amazon and buy it. And so what's going to happen? The book is going to be basically low on the seller's list. No one's going to see it whenever they search, you know, Holy Land or Hebrews. No one's going to see it. So in my mind, it's like, well, let me put a free PDF version of the book out there for people so that the big points, the most important things are being released to people, but they still can go to Amazon to actually buy the book if they have any means. But now it's like, we know this is an urgent moment. And if anything, Yah will elevate this book if it's his will. And if not, then whatever way that he plans to do it. I only did the book unto him as a service to him. So having faith in that type of way, you know, to anyone, if you weren't able to buy the book, if you can't afford the book, you know, just send an email to me at AfrikanExodus@gmail.com. Just let me know. Listen, I couldn't afford the book or whatever. You know, could you please send a free copy? Because this is not the time for us to be worried about having reputation in the systems of men or being able to be seen or being able to have an algorithm on our side. This is the time that we have to be worried about giving information as pertinent to those who need to receive it. Okay? Even going forward, Yah willing, I'm praying to do an add-on to the book. Yah willing, of course. And there's a lot of information that I'm going to be sharing. And so with this next phase, we're going to be doing things very differently than we did before. So I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support. And Yah willing, I'll see you all in the next video.
We believe in the resurrection of the dead. We believe that the 20 million black people in America in the last days will be taught the truth. The trumpet of truth will sound in your ear. As it's being sounded today, the trumpet of truth. And this truth strikes your ear and strikes your heart. It'll open your eyes. It'll open your ears. It'll make you stand up. It'll do the same thing for you that truth did for the dry bones in the valley. Because the picture of dry bones in the valley is talking about you. The picture of Lazarus laying dead 4 days is talking about you. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bones. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. Black people are waking up. Black people are standing up. Black people are rising up and they're going back. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land. We don't think part of God. No. Nothing but another part of that same race of devils that come out of Europe. They didn't even come out of the Holy Land. They come out of the caves of Europe. Furthermore, we believe we are the people of God's choice. As it is written that God would choose the rejected and despised. And we can find no other person fitting this description in these last days more than the so-called Negroes in America. We believe in the resurrection of the righteous. We believe in the judgment. We believe this first judgment will take place as God revealed right here in America. Right. The judgment will take place in America. The resurrection will take place in America. The judgment will take place in America. The separation will take place in America. And the destruction will take place in America. Doom will take place in America. Doomsday will take place right here. This is the place the Bible is talking about. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set flame to.
Valley of Dry Bones, as recounted in Ezekiel 37, the prophet Ezekiel finds himself in a desolate landscape filled with lifeless bones. Symbolizing the exiled Israelites' spiritual state and hopelessness, God poses a question: can these bones live? In response, Ezekiel acknowledges only God's knowledge. God commands Ezekiel to prophesy over the bones, and as he does, a rattling occurs. The bones come together, sinews attach, flesh forms, and skin covers them, but they remain lifeless. God instructs Ezekiel to prophesy breath into the bones, and a mighty wind breathes life into them. This vision portrays God's promise to restore the people of Israel, breathing new life into their spiritual and national revival.